Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, guys? I just finished filming an episode and was on Instagram and got a DM from someone. And I always get this DM from people, even my friends. And so I was kind of like, you know what? I feel like I'm just going to address this on the podcast and answer it point blank so y'all know how this goes down. But before I get into this episode, I encourage you to follow the podcast on social media at The New Unfiltered. If you aren't following me, my Instagram is at Alexa_Curtis. And most importantly, if you have ideas or thoughts that you want to share with me and my audience, or even potentially be considered to be a guest on the podcast, the best way to do that is not via DM. I honestly do not look at those or take guests via DM, but either email or a LinkedIn message is really what stands out to me when I have guests on The New Unfiltered. You can also always call into the show and leave a voicemail, anything that's on your mind. And the phone number for that is 909-979-3291. So again, 909-979-3291. And that is one of my favorite ways to look over guest inquiries or even questions that you guys are having. So let's get right into this. The DM that I got is from Julia. And what she said is, can you teach me how to get stuff for free? So this is not a super serious episode. I am just here to give you my unfiltered opinion at this point in my career on this particular topic, as well as just some things that I have realized when it comes to working with brands. And though this is kind of a silly and funny question and topic, it actually goes into something I have been wanting to talk about, which is creating the relationships with companies to help you only get your dream job or even work for a brand if you're in the space. So for example, a few months ago, I got approached by a girl. She asked to send me product. Usually, for the most part, I'll just send my address to someone who asks to send me something. I don't even honestly look twice at what it is. When it comes, I'll try it. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't. For the most part, I don't post things unless they really stand out to me. And then also for the most part, unless it's some type of a paid collaboration where I love the product and have tested it, I don't usually just post it because for the most part, if I'm posting it, I love it. And if I'm not posting it and I got sent something, I don't care enough to try it or whatnot. And so I always will give it to a friend to try or donate it, whatever. That's not often what happens, but a lot of times I'm sent a ton of shit and I can't physically try or ingest all of these items. So I do what I can to promote the brands that I love. So I got approached by this girl, Whitney, and she asked to send me product. And I was like, whatever. Okay, send me it. I don't really care. I'll try it. Don't even know how she found me. I think I probably met her through someone. Anywho, so I get the product in the mail, and it is a instant coffee. And so I get this in the mail, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Instant coffee sketches me out. Probably not going to try this, whatever. But the boxes were cute. Anywho, one day I was like traveling, and if you know me, I'm a coffee connoisseur. However, I spend an excessive amount of money on coffee that should be going into my savings. To everyone listening, please tell me you are putting money into your savings in your 20s. Don't be stupid here. Save your money and don't spend it on the $5 almond milk latte you probably already had yesterday. So I'm traveling and I have a chance. I use the coffee in the morning. I'm super picky when I'm traveling about like what I eat and kind of what I drink because I need to feel the best. I don't want to feel like shit. I don't want to feel tired or sluggish because if I'm traveling, like it's important that I get my workout in and I get my work in and everything. And so I had the chance to try the product off camera. When I woke up, I don't love Keurig coffee, so I didn't want to use the Keurig at this particular hotel. And so I try it, and within 10 seconds of it literally going in my lips, in my mouth, that sounded weird. I was like, oh my God, I wish I had started this company. And so I used the coffee for probably 6 more days, and I honestly ran out when I was traveling, and I just got back to Austin, and I'm so glad because I have more product here I can use again. And so I did something. I wrote an email to the girl who had sent me the product, and I said, can I get you on the phone? I have something I want to run by you. I don't quite often do this. I like to say, reduce the BS in business. You don't need to spend an hour on the phone with someone to wait until the end of the call for them to say that they have no money or they're not hiring. All of this should be done via email or at the beginning of the call, so you stop wasting your time. But in this capacity, I fell in love with this brand so much that I honestly was willing to do anything for free or very reduced. And so I got on the phone with her and I said to her, while I was in LA, look, Whitney, I had a chance to try this product for weeks at a time. Now it's been some time since, and I literally just ran out of samples. I'm obsessed. And I pitched her on the phone and told her, look, I usually would charge $1,500 or $2,000 for a post like this or a segment. And I said, I have photos that I took with a photographer just in case you were to say yes that are ready to go up, which I did. I took them in Houston because I had some of the product left. And I said, I would love to be as involved, as much content as you want, $500 flat. That is how much of a fan I am of this brand and want to be involved. And of course, she said yes. And I knew she was going to say yes for a few different reasons, honestly, because I so authentically am obsessed with this brand and want to be involved, but more so because I took the initiative to call her on the phone and sell myself. And like I said, I don't do that all the time. No one has the time to do that. And I didn't know. There was a strong possibility she was going to be like, look, we are running out of money. This company is about to close down. I can't afford this. And I would have said, okay, no problem. Like, let's figure something out. But because I sold it so well and I am so authentically in love with the product, and on top of that, really gave them a discount from what I would usually charge for that kind of quote unquote service, that type of post, it is a win-win for all of us. So when it comes to getting free shit or whatever it is that you're looking for, you need to not only have built a brand or work for a solid company, you need to always be selling yourself, right? Like, sure, I could charge and why not? Could have charged her $2,000 for that post. Didn't need to write the call. Didn't need to schedule that call. Could have sent her an email and been like, look, love the brand. Will you pay me $2,000? I'll post about this everywhere. Would she have said yes? Honestly, probably no. And she acknowledged to me on the phone that her and the founder have recently paid an influencer, she said $1,700 and got no results. And she said, I'm going to have to pitch this to the founder now in a way that really shows that you are so authentically obsessed with the company because of the fact that we just paid this girl and got nothing back from it. And I said, I totally get it. And that's why I'm willing to do this so low of charge, is because I actually want to promote this brand. I do want to get paid because I do this for a living and it's work for me, but I'm willing to do it for literally so low money because I'm so obsessed with it. And so I think that you constantly need to be evaluating yourself and looking at yourself as the brand if you want someone to give you something. Unless you are Oprah or Michelle Obama, two of my biggest inspirations, you're like, who really are you? Who really am I, right? Like, it doesn't matter that I have X amount of Instagram followers or comments or XYZ. All that matters is that I'm still a person and this company is a company and it's all business. I am selling myself to the company and they have sold themselves to me, and they sold themselves to me in the best way because I love the brand. So whether you're emailing someone or you're getting on the phone, always have your media kit involved. When I say media kit, that means some type of PowerPoint that you will include in your email that will have everything about you coming from the influencer side of things. So if you are some social media influencer, you have X amount of following, make this kit, include in there everything the brand needs to introduction to myself or my brand. And then the bio would say, hi, Alexa, huge fan of the company. I would love samples to see if it's a fit for my platform. You don't need millions of followers to get free stuff. It's not that hard. You do need a following and you do need a footing to get paid for things. And the reason I say that is because when someone is paying you, like, I would not advise any of you to go and work with a brand and get paid $500 for a post if you don't envision yourself to be this kind of company. And the reason I say that, or public figure, whatever it is you're trying to do, the reason that I say that is solely because when you start getting paid for stuff, there's taxes involved in counting, there's contracts. Like, you don't always want to be held responsible for things that could go wrong. And so sometimes you just want product, and that's great. And you can do it in the greatest way, which is, hey, big fan of the brand, would love to introduce this company to my fans. Here's my media kit. Would you be open to sending samples? I guarantee you 9 out of 10 times a company is going to say yes. They're going to say yes if you don't ask for money for a variety of reasons. But the first reason is because whether or not you have 100 followers, 50 followers, or 1,000,000 followers, any company wants their product in front of people. You may not be the biggest influencer in the world, but we all have influence. You're going to influence your friends to buy this product if you like it. And they may even get a post out of you for free that they can repost on social media and create buzz around the brand. This is why micro influencers have become such a hot topic, because people know someone like Kim Kardashian, who's posting on Instagram all the brands she's working with. I think the return on investment for some of those companies is like 0.1%. They're just getting Kim Kardashian to post it. But we all know, do you think Kim Kardashian spends all of her time trying out these protein powders or fit teas or anything she's promoting? Highly unlikely. She's just getting paid for a post to end its business. Whereas if you're not getting paid, or even if you're getting paid a small amount and you have 10,000 followers or 5,000 followers, the ratio of people who might actually buy that product could be a lot higher than Kim Kardashian ratio of followers, and brands are aware of this. So again, go at it from asking for samples. And then I would certainly say, if you are someone who is willing to wait, then you should go at it from, I would love samples, and then would love to continue the conversation from there. And then what you can do is try out the product and go back to the brand in a few months. Get someone on the phone and say, I love this company. Would you be willing to pay me $100, $200 for a post or a story? I can't guarantee that people are going to buy the brand, but what I can tell you is I will create buzz and exposure for you. I would do it this way, and I encourage you guys to do it too. Now, for example, I was in Houston, and a friend of mine who I took photographs with is an incredible photographer. Her name's Brandy. I met her quite some time ago through another shoot that I did, and I stayed at the Royal Sonesta in Houston for free. I've stayed at this hotel before. I honestly just called the GM and was like, hey, I've stayed here before. Can you guys comp me another room? I'll do another feature. Sure, no problem. Editor, audio note, whatever. It is not always that easy. Sometimes I have to create a full proposal. Sometimes I am on the phone with someone for 5 weeks and then they finally say no, and I feel like they've wasted my time. But you can't say someone has wasted your time because there's no use in it. You didn't know until you know, right? But we're in the elevator and she said to me too, can you teach me how to get this for free? And I said, Brandy, you have even more of an asset, or can be, to this hotel than I can be. And the reason I say that is because you're a photographer. What hotel would say no to a free photographer coming in and taking photos? And I said, call me this week and I'm going to write out a pitch for you, and I'm going to tell you how to sell yourself to a hotel to get a free room. I'm going to tell you how to sell yourself to an airline to get a free room. She herself is the brand because she is offering this service. The same way that I am offering a service by talking about you on my social media or on this podcast, you are offering a service that is 100% her own company, her own brand. She doesn't need to necessarily be posting on her personal Instagram for this hotel to give her a free room. But what she does need to do is offer to give free photographs, high-res photographs to the hotel. She'll write a Yelp review. She'll write a Facebook review. Boom. It is so much easier than you guys think. And the reason I think that a lot of you struggle with this is because, number one, you're scared of rejection, which totally makes sense. I talk about rejection all the time. Rejection is a huge part of my story and, at this point, my DNA. And so I advise you to lean into the rejection. Don't let it freak you out. But more importantly, all you have to do is ask. Are you afraid of asking and being rejected, or are you solely afraid of simply starting with the ask because you don't know what you're asking for? So sit down with yourself and think, okay, what am I asking for? To walk you back to the beginning of this episode, when I said I got the founder of that coffee company on the phone after having tried the product out for weeks, and I said, here is what I'm asking for, and the reason I'm willing to do it for such a low fee is because I love the company. I knew what I was asking for. I didn't know exactly where the conversation would go. She easily could have said, we have no budget. You know, what else will you do with it? But I was just anticipating she was going to say yes, because I always live in the yes mindset. You always want someone to say yes to you. So ideally go at everything thinking someone's going to say yes, so you're not disappointed. But even more, again, I knew what I was selling. I was selling my service to her, and I was selling the ability to get my fans to get as excited about this product as I am. So whether you're a photographer, whether you want to be an influencer or you are an influencer, maybe you are a photographer or a social media influencer, or you even started a blog or a small podcast and you want to get free stuff, view yourself as the brand. The girl who messaged me earlier, Julia, has a really awesome company. And actually, this podcast is kind of inspired by you, Julia, and you're a good friend of mine now as well. But you actually have the perfect company that should get brands to send you stuff. She has a mental health wellness subscription box. And the cool thing about it is it's called Broglie Box. I'm putting you on the spot here, Julia, sorry. But it's a really cool company. There's tons of product involved. And what company wouldn't want to donate product to be in this box to get in front of her subscribers, right? How do you think that models like Birchbox exist? I don't even think that Birchbox gives money to the brands who give product to be in those boxes. It's all sample sized. What they do get is they get the opportunity to be in front of this consumer, the Birchbox consumer, and then what they get is access to be sold on the Birchbox website. Look at that business model, you guys. Birchbox, again, they are getting free product in their boxes. They are reaching out to brands who are beauty brands and would be willing to get product in this box. And they are saying, send product for 10,000, 20,000 boxes going out, and then we will sell you on the site. And if you have a good product, for the most part, someone who opens that box is going to buy the product. Why do you think that you can't do the same thing that a multi-million-dollar company is doing? Ask. All you have to do is ask, and all someone has to do is say yes or no. It is very simple. The same way that when someone asks you out or you want to be friends with someone, either you're going to say, yes, I think you're very cute and want to go out with you, or you're going to say, no, I'm not really interested. It's not that hard. So stop looking at it as something that's so hard and just write the email, write the ask, make the fake assistant if you want, whatever it is, but just start and view yourself as the brand and get out of your comfort zone and do it. I'm not going to sit here and say that if you're like, I don't want to use the word nobody, but in theory, right? If you're a nobody, you don't have a blog, you don't have a podcast, you don't have any social media following. I mean, I personally don't think I would go emailing, I don't know, Silk and Sonder or Gucci being like, hey, will you send me a bag because you don't have any following. Like, you still need to offer them something. So either you need to go and start something like that if you want stuff for free, or you need to utilize your existing platforms and try and build on them and then go at it very authentically from that. You don't need tons of followers to make a media kit. A media kit is just a visual resume. So go and make that media kit and start sending it out to people and then continue to build your own social platforms from there. And I would say that this is really the easy part of getting stuff for free is, again, just being willing to ask. So don't overthink it, but also know what you're selling and know yourself as a brand. And your brand will evolve. I always tell people who are so inspired by my story that this was not easy. And I feel like a lot of you who have hopefully been following me from the beginning know all of these ups and downs. But like, my brand has changed so many times. I mean, I started as a fashion blogger. Then I started a mental health company. Then I got a show on Radio Disney. Then I had a podcast. Now I have another podcast. Now I started another college summit company. I mean, I am a fully fledged working entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean that every single day was the same from when I began. No, you're evolving. I'm evolving. Any company or anything you start is evolving. And so go from there. Maybe you're like me and you started a fashion blog and then you wanted fashion clothing and then you realized, oh, I'm actually not into fashion. Boom. Okay, so go and start something else then. Let your blog take you into another area. Even the most successful people do this. They don't start a company with the expectation it's not going to evolve. You want your brand to evolve and you want to evolve. So I said to Brandy, look, you've never shot hotels before. Evolve your brand. Maybe it's intimidating to you. And look, if anything, you'll get a free hotel room out of this pitch to the hotel. C'est la vie, like, enjoy it. Send them cool pictures. Maybe you'll never want to do it again, but you let your brand evolve. Don't get yourself stuck into one narrow avenue thinking that's all you can do, because you want to be someone who, whatever you're starting or pursuing or working for, you want to be able to say you can do everything and you're honestly skilled in everything. So that is my advice for getting free shit. I know that it's a more leveled answer than I kind of catfished you guys into thinking. So just to recap, get someone on the phone if you can. Tell them about why you like the company. Have a media kit. Send that pitch. Have some type of blog or podcast or footing in some capacity. And look at yourself as the brand when you go and you email this company. What are you bringing to them and what are they bringing to you? If you are just starting out, or you're like Juliet who has a subscription service box, I don't personally think at the beginning you need money. You want to create some of these long-lasting relationships like I have with a lot of the brands that I work with, to where you get to a point where you can ask for whatever you want. I can ask for more coffee from this company. They're going to send it in a second. I can go and email DSW right now. They're going to send me 10 pairs of shoes, because a year ago I did a post and I got all of the shoes out there and they loved it. And so now it's like these ongoing continued relationships. And maybe one day this, for instance, DSW partnership will go into a bigger campaign that's worth $5,000 or $10,000. Maybe it'll just stay at product. But regardless, I'm not going to stop looking for other brands that I like. I'm not going to stop getting people on the phone. And I'm certainly not going to stop evolving my brand, because we should all do that. So I hope this episode inspired you guys to be fearless and get out of your comfort zone. If you write that email or you send that pitch, please DM me, please message me. I want to congratulate you, because I know it's scary. It's really fucking scary to be fearless. And sometimes you just got to do it. So I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your week. And I will be back next Monday with a new episode of The New Unfiltered. Make sure you go to lifeunfilteredwithalexa.com after every episode and you get the show notes as well as anything more that you should know. Definitely comment on the post if you send the email after you listen to this episode. And don't forget to write a review on the podcast app. All right, have a great week. Bye, guys.